Hello, everybody. Um, this last weekend we didn't have a game because the team was on a bye, of course, and so we kind of were idled this weekend. But some good things happened. The Rams lost, which helps us, and I know a lot of 49er fans out there don't like the Cowboys and are happy with that. But you know, it's a good feeling that we're in a good position that we are in right now. When you win football games, good things happen. They just as time goes on, everything just falls into place. And because we got off to a 3-0 start, that's now we're on top of the division because the Rams lost. So, and I think that whoever wins on Thursday night, because the Rams and the Seahawks play, and whoever wins that game, I still believe is going to be in second place because they don't. I don't think they measure by how many wins a team has. They actually measure. Um, they actually measure how many losses. So we're undefeated. So even if either the Rams or the Seahawks win on Thursday night, we're still in the lead because we don't have any losses. They do. So I think they measure it that way. But so we're off to a good start, and we have to keep it going. We cannot just get off to this good start and and then take it for granted and start losing games. We need to win, keep winning, and this video I do want to talk about the Browns coming up, but there's other things I want to talk about too. Like for instance, we don't get enough respect in the National Football League, it seems. But let me start off with the Browns. The Browns they played really good. They played you know their game against the Ravens. They played really well and played better than what we've seen in the past weekends. But I was watching the highlights of that game, and from what I could see, is that uh, it looked like the Ravens' defense was slow. I mean, they had all kinds of huge gaping holes for the running backs to run through. I mean, they just looked slow, and there was no pressure at all on Baker Mayfield. The running backs were just running galore right through the holes. I don't see that happening with us. Our defense is pretty good, and we have edge rushers, and our guys are aggressive. They tackle right to whoever has the ball on the other side. They go right to them and take them down. And I didn't see that in the highlights with the Browns and the Ravens. The Ravens defense just looked so push around like. So I don't see us doing that. But I do think that they do have good pieces on that team, on the Cleveland Browns. I think that um, for instance, they got Odell Beckham Jr. Baker Mayfield has been struggling in past weekends, but yesterday he had I guess a pretty good game, and so he has potential to have a good game. I mean, he's got the talent is there, so we can't take that for granted when we play them. We have to come at them with everything. I mean, we have to use our aggressive defense on him. We have to get into the backfield. We have to shake things up in there, and force him to make mistakes. That's what you got to do. We cannot let him sit back there and have time to throw. He's got Odell Beckham Jr. That we have to try to keep at bay and watch. So we gotta be on top of that. Another thing too is like the Steeler game, we can't turn the ball over 5 times. I mean, we won that game against the Steelers, but we could have lost because of all those turnovers. We're not always going to have victories with so many turnovers, and we're playing against a team that is opportunist. when it comes to getting turnovers. That you turn the ball over, giving them a short field, and they take advantage. They're an opportunist team. So we can't give them the game. We can't give them the ball. That's one thing we cannot do. So we're gonna have to play tough. We're gonna have to play, protect the football. Maybe run the ball. Maybe mix some throws in there. Kind of like get a little bit of methodical drives going. Set up some screens, and these little things. That you could probably attack them with. But you know, I think we'll be all right if we don't make any mistakes on offense. We play well, go out there and do our jobs. We'll be fine. It can't, and also keep the penalties down. That's another thing. So because, like I said, they're an opportunist team, and whenever they see an opportunity that they can cash in on, they try to take advantage of it. Now, a lot of people still say the Browns are pretty good, and they probably are. But let's keep this in mind, though. We have to beat good teams. Because I think the Browns are good, and we have to beat the Browns. I think the Browns can be good, and we have to beat them on national TV to let people know who we are. And the reason why is because you have analysts out there, like Ryan Clark, Stephen A. Smith, you know, Deion Sanders, Adam Rank, all these people out there that don't give us a chance in hell. I mean, we get 3 wins and they say that we were just lucky. We were just lucky to get those wins. We're not really who we say we are. Because see, in their mind, they still think we're that same team that we were last year, and the year before that, and the year before that. They still think we're that same team. What they fail to understand is that we've actually added pieces to our defense, drafting Nick Bosa, getting D Ford, and Quan Alexander, and we also drafted a couple of pieces to put on offense. We've actually added pieces in the off season, and these bozos still think we're the same team. Well, the only way this is going to work, the only way you get respect in the National Football League is you got to go out there and you got to win, and play and fight hard for everything, and then you start to get the attention from the media and from the audience out there that are watching the games, because that's what we're gonna have to do. I mean, I look at it this way. If you remember 2011, in 2011, the year before 2011, 2010, the 49ers had a terrible year. And then they hired Jim Harbaugh. And then in 2011, nobody was expecting us to do anything. We were still expecting to be a losing team and not get anywhere. And what happened was we started winning games. We won a couple of games. Went 2-1. And at that point, people weren't sold on us. They thought, well, they're lucky. They're just getting some lucky wins. But as the season went along, we kept winning and winning, and then we started getting attention. And that's what we're going to have to do again. I don't know why it is the media doesn't like us. I just think that we're going to have to go out there and get their attention and win these games. We need to win these games in order to get attention. Because, I guess being under the radar isn't such a bad thing, because you can kind of sneak up on people. But you want the respect. You've been through so much. I mean, it's because you're so enthusiastic about your team. You want to tune into the NFL Network or ESPN and hear them talk about your team, which they do not do. They'd rather talk about the Cowboys and the Seahawks and the Rams and the Patriots and the Chiefs, without talking, not talking much about us. So you gotta really earn that, I guess. But you look at the media; they just love the Cowboys so much, don't they? I mean, even when the Cowboy, even when, if the Cowboys have a bad year, they still love the Cowboys. They still want to talk about the Cowboys. And the Cowboys lost yesterday evening, and this morning I've been watching some of these channels like ESPN and the NFL Network, and they just seem so disappointed. That the Cowboys lost because they want to talk about the Cowboys. They want to be enthusiastic about the Cowboys. I can't believe that team gets so much love. I mean, and when you look at us, the media just hates us. I mean, it's like the media just I mean, I don't say that they hate us, but they sure don't give us any kind of recognition for anything. I'm just so sick and tired of hearing about, these guys not giving us a chance. I was watching on Rombo Sports that I guess there was a caller on his show that was mentioning that on Stephen A. Smith and on the Stephen A. Smith show with Ryan Clark on there, they were talking about things like they like what the Niners are doing, but they believe that Jimmy G is holding them back. Jimmy Garoppolo was holding them back. How is that so? I mean, because the last time I checked, we're winning. We're 3-0. We're winning. And in that Steeler game, it was Jimmy G that led us down the field for that winning touchdown. I wonder, all this talk that Jimmy Garoppolo is holding us back, that's a bunch of crap. We're 3-0. How is he holding us back? We're winning with him. He throws interceptions. Okay, he throws interceptions. So a lot of quarterbacks in the National Football League. Yesterday, Jared Goff threw, I think, three interceptions, and he fumbled. He threw three interceptions and a fumble, and I just hear people say, well, he was just having a bad day or whatever. But when that happens to Jimmy Garoppolo, they just want to go right after him. But we gotta do is we gotta play hard. And every week that we play these games, we gotta play hard. And when you win, everything falls into place. Just like now, I mean, look at us. Look at us right now. I mean, we're actually on top of the division now. We have sole position of it. Just barely though. But we're in first place. Now we need to keep it right here. Now what we need to do is try to get a stretch run going. From this point, we're on top of the division. So from this point, we need to start a stretch drive. It's not going to be easy, because we got good teams down the road there. But I still feel that this race in this NFC West is going to be tough. It's going to be tight, and so we need to keep winning. And when we play these teams in our division, we have to beat them. That's what it's going to take for us to get to the playoffs. And I'm just so sick and tired of hearing these analysts not giving us a chance in hell. They're just saying that we're not any good, or we're just lucky to be where we are. Now, granted, I know that the Tampa Bay game, the first game of the season against Tampa Bay, I know that wasn't a perfect game. I mean, we it was a tight ball game, and our defense really saved us with those two pick sixes, because the game was tight and you never know what could happen. The game against the Steelers, that was far from perfect. There was the 5 turnovers. There was the game was tight, and everything. We could have lost that game. The game against Cincinnati, now that's a game that we played. We were flying on all cylinders. I mean, everything was just running perfectly. So, and it was the Bengals, but I know our victories aren't perfect and all that, but these are the kind of games last year that we would have lost. So that really shows that we have improved, and we're going to continue to improve. I mean, when a team turns the ball over like 5 times and still wins, that says something about their swagger. That says something about their character. I can remember the 1981 49ers, the NFC Championship game against Dallas, the game, the catch. The The 49ers turned the ball over 5 times in that game and still won. But that's what champions do. And we just have to continue to play good football, try to get these wins because it's going to be tough. There's going to be some tough tests down the road. We got to play the Rams, although the Rams looked a little suspect today. I think defensively they looked a little suspect because they were they got 55 points put up on them on their defense, and there was even a play where Winston threw a bomb downfield and hit the receiver for a touchdown in that game. I was watching the red zone today, yesterday, and I saw some of these other games and I saw what was going on in that game. But the thing of it is that we got to keep on playing hard. I don't think the Cleveland Browns, they're not going to be that pushover team that we saw, in past weeks. We cannot take them lightly. You cannot take anybody lightly in this NFL. Now, I think that in a way, their victory yesterday over the Baltimore Ravens, blowing out the Ravens, I think that's actually a gift in disguise for us because our team won't go into that game thinking that the Browns are going to be easy. They'll see that the Browns trounced all over a 7-point favored team and blew them out, and so the Niners are not going to be surprised. The Browns will not be able to go into Levi Stadium and sneak up on the 49ers and surprise them. Because now the 49ers have saw that game, they're going to look at the film on that game, and they're going to know that these guys can be a problem. So I would suspect the 49ers will not take them lightly. So I'm kind of glad that in a way, the Cleveland Browns played the way they did yesterday as a wake-up call to our team. Because if the Baltimore Ravens, let's say it was the other way around, they blew out the Cleveland Browns, our guys next week might think, well, this is no competition. We'd be all right and take them lightly. But I don't think they'll take them lightly in this game. I think we're going to come after them, and we're going to beat them. I think we can beat them. But we got to take care of things. We got to take care of the football. We got to take care of penalties. Keep the penalties down, and just put together good drives, and we'll be fine. And the crowd noise was loud. When the Steelers in there last game, I think that's what the crowd needs to do again for this game. They need to be loud, and the defense playing hard, and maybe we can get Baker Mayfield a little off his guard there and disrupt him. So that's what we're going to have to do. And but it's going to be another interesting game. I think the team is taking it one game at a time, and they need to do that because you just never know. You just never know with these teams. But yeah, I think our team deserves more respect than it has. I think that the comment where Stephen A. Smith and Ryan Clark, when they were talking about Jimmy G, holding them back, that's bias, and I kind of know why they would say that, because Stephen A. Smith is a Colin Kaepernick fan, and Colin Kaepernick doesn't have a job in the NFL. He's not a quarterback right now in the NFL, and Stephen A. Smith still feels that Kaepernick should be the quarterback of the 49ers, and that but see, the thing is, Kaepernick opted out of his contract, as we all know, and and besides that, Kaepernick doesn't fit Kyle Shanahan's scheme. He doesn't fit that kind of offense. He's not that kind of quarterback to fit it. But now that Jimmy G, is the starting quarterback of the 49ers, and he's popular, it disturbs Stephen A. Smith. He wants Kaepernick to still be their quarterback, and Kaepernick doesn't have a job in the NFL. So I think that's where the bias probably comes from, and I don't see him holding anybody back at all. I don't see him holding, you know, I don't see him holding the 49ers back at all. I mean, they're winning, and that's all that really matters. So I think that Stephen A. Smith is just, I mean, he likes to talk, and Ryan Clark too, he likes to talk. But, there's some people out there that give us respect, and everything. But we'll see what happens. I think the 49ers, I think they'll win. I was going to say maybe 24 to 17 or 24 to 14. I think that will be the score. But for that score, for us to win a game like this, you got to take care of those little things, and definitely have to clean up on the penalties. That's important. That's number one, and that's all I want to say on this video. Um, we didn't have a game this last weekend, but it's kind of nice to watch all the games. I have the red zone. I can watch that and see what's going on around the league. Which is kind of nice to do. And but it kind of gives us a break. And even though the team didn't play yesterday, we kind of idled pretty nice over the weekend because the Rams lost, and that helps us. We didn't have to do a darn thing this weekend, and actually, we improved in the division. We didn't have to do it. We didn't have to do a thing yesterday because we weren't playing. Had the bye, and we improved in the division anyway. So that's good. But anyways, that's all I want to say. And everybody take care. And we'll talk about the Browns next weekend. All right. Everybody take care.